This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report, and I'm going to talk a little bit about media and how they're using different resources, different tools to brainwash us and to control us, and which may be leading into what I just did on my other rant about the wussification, the safe spaces, and just getting freaked out over the littlest thing. We're the sheeple, if you will, like you just saw on the screen. And so media, I think most people know this, that there's misinformation out there, there's disinformation out there, there's a definitive science that of what people go through to try to distort what reality is and manufacture some kind of public consent out there on their ideas that they're trying to push. And they use these deliberate techniques of social mind control to try to influence you and control us as individuals. And this all began, there's this guy, I was reading this article from a paper out there where Edward Barney, and he's essentially the pioneer out there that started this whole social engineering via the mass media, which you see a lot today. In the early 20th century, Barney went out there and he started this cultural programming at a societal level where he thought he could go out there and basically use processes to get the masses to do what they want, to control the masses. And it set this in motion dramatically. He influenced the growth of culture out there. He influenced, he's basically established the modern brainwashing, propaganda, and mind control that mass media uses today. We're not just talking about the news. There's different forms of it out there. One of them, there's two really significant ones. The turfing, where you go out there and when you get these things that you feel are important happening in the world, and they take these issues, a lot of them at the grassroots level, and alter them. And we see it in work in a lot of major ways out there today. And what happens is you get these organic social movements that are out there. People that are used to, they create these ongoing narratives about social chaos, about racism, about political protest. And what they seem to do is they create this, what they call astroturfing, a scheme to basically fake out this grassroots movement out there. It gives people the impression that a lot of people are on board. You have a lot of widespread support for your agenda that you're pushing, but in reality, the public may not have any interest in whatsoever in what you're trying to push out there. And they use this a lot, this astroturf, to discredit and criticize people that you don't agree with. One of those astroturf things is calling them a conspiracy theorist, a quack, a racist, where they label you with these different terms. You know, some of the systems out there, they create Wikipedia, which is ran now by the large corporations. They're monitored by corporations, I mean, not ran. That guy is actually going to bring from nonprofit. Social media, how about that? Facebook, Twitter. A lot of those accounts are run by paid professionals, not the actual people you think you're talking to. It's rare to see people doing what Donald Trump's out there doing, what I'm doing. But there's different ways out there where they will try to manipulate the masses. Subliminal messages. That's modern mind control there. The emotional mind can be triggered into where a person's intellect can be subjected in favor of some other base mental process out there. A person may not consciously realize that they're attracted to something, but deep down they are because of this influence, the subliminal messages that they're putting out to you. And why is all this important? It's important because of the control that mass media has over most of the individuals out there. Where they're coming in, they're determining what is fake media. But what a lot of people don't know is how many times the real media has been caught doing fake propaganda pieces. What was it? Project Mockingbird, where the CIA was in there basically giving money so that they could influence the propaganda that was they were putting out. And this is decades of manipulative media. And you can see it out there in the gridlock of ideas, the confrontations that we see, the divisive nature and discourse that we see out there in towns and social media platforms, wherever you go. They want people to look the same, act the same, eat the same. They want them to be the controlled masses. They want you to be able to sway your public opinion, change your public behavior. to be, and what they want to do is to be effective. The public, see, what they need us, the public, basically to remain unaware as to how the science of social programming and brainwashing is working so that they can continue to go out there and control us as a society. And it's important that the victims of mass brainwashing do not become aware of the environment that they are being controlled under. And that's what they thrive upon. We have to be careful to avoid that. I mean, if you look at a lot of the stuff, here's a prime example. I did a report on Syria and how it's all about the pipelines. But mass media is out there feeding you a different story about why we had to go into Syria, how it all got started, and you don't know any of the facts, any of the underlying issues. And what they're doing is they're saying, okay, because alt media or the new media or foreign press is out there putting out the real story, they don't want you to believe that. They want you to believe the narrative they're putting out. So they're calling them conspiracy guys. They're calling them fake news guys. And there is fake news out there. There are sites that actually go out and put out fake news stories to get you to go to their site, and they're making a ton of money, a shitload of money. Okay? So I get that. I know those sites are out there. But what they're doing is they're trying to use that label to get you, and the propaganda like you're seeing up on the screen right now, to get you to buy into the fact that these forces, these sources, these alternative news sites are no, they're bogus. They're not real. They're conspiracy theorists. So that you will stick and only listen to the propaganda that's being put out by major media. Major media that's controlled by 6 of the largest corporations out there. Control most of the mass media that's out there. They control the agenda. They control what you're hearing. And they're working hands in hands with the government. And you'll see if you look up Project Mockingbird with the CIA. It's time to wake up and say, we've had it. We're awake now. So what you need to do is look at all alternative news sites. Somebody came on my site today and said, look, oh, that's good to see news isn't biased. News isn't biased. News is very biased. That's why if you look at my site, the Uncensored Report, I put out stuff from ABC, CBS. I also do Fox News, InfoWars, RT. I go all over the place. So this one lady, oh, that's RT. RT will go out just because they're Russian. That's fine. They will tell you, many of the people there, that they have no influence over their stories. But RT will come here and do stories that major media won't pick up. And they'll give you the facts. They'll show you the videos. They'll show you the actual documentation. Because they know that the real media is out there trying to minimize them and lead people to believe that all they are is a propaganda piece for the Russians. So what I'm saying to you is study all news sources. Don't let them brainwash you. Don't let them mind control you through the 4 major networks that we have in the United States. This has been Francesco Abruzzino with the Uncensored Report.